What's up, Josh? Oop, hold on. I can't hear you, Josh. Can you hear me?
Oh, hey, that's probably going to work a lot better, huh?
Yeah. Were you already live?
Anybody who was watching a minute ago, talking and you couldn't hear me. Well, welcome to the Sarcasm Liberty live stream, everyone. Just like right before I went live, I don't remember who it was. I think it was it Tulsi Gabbard was talking, and then um, somebody else like wanted Biden to like answer a question that I guess he had dodged earlier. So then
Yeah.
Biden tries to like defend himself by completely dodging the question again.
Yeah.
He goes off on this
Yeah.
whole
He's
other
like
thing.
he's like he's
I
like
was like,
first off,
wait,
I was the vice president, not the president. Like, yeah, we know Biden. We're not
it
that
was so
stupid.
funny.
Um.
Oh man, that was hilarious. Though he just like completely didn't like answer the question, and then everybody's just kind of like, if you like try to like you make it further and actually start debating like Republicans and Trump, like you're gonna have to actually be able to answer the questions, right? Like you can't
Yeah.
just say
Well,
nothing.
did you watch last night's one?
No, I hate watching the debates. I usually like actually I typically end up just like reading the transcript the next day because it
Yeah.
just annoys the shit out of me.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was a clown show. It had a couple highlights. That Marianne Williamson. She's something else. Um, it's like she'll like start off by saying like a half good point, and then she'll be like, "There's a collective dark cloud upon humanity, and we can only vanquish that with love." Like
Oh god, that's so
like
cheesy.
bring on the orbs and the wizards.
It's so ridiculous. I don't know. I'm still like getting caught up from like yesterday too, and I wasn't watching it live before I started the stream, so I'm like still kind of getting caught up on some stuff here.
Oh yeah.
Just like it was hilarious because I got like I have it going on my computer here.
So you didn't see what Andrew
Um,
Yang said at the start?
no, I know.
He was like,
Yeah.
oh, we need the opposite of what we have now, which is Donald Trump, and I'm the opposite of Donald Trump, an Asian guy who likes math.
Oh, that's good.
What an entrance, right?
I like no, because I'm following people who are tweeting about it, like Larry Sharp's doing tweets in response, and like a few other people here and
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Hold
So
that
I'm
thought,
like,
Cole. Keep talking. I'm just gonna be right back and grab my lighter.
all right, yeah. So it's kind of CNN, like the site is being really dumb right now. It's kind of funny that like CNN is running the debates, but you have to watch ads. That's really weird.
Oh
I mean, I
yeah, like
shouldn't be surprised.
it's not on YouTube.
Yeah.
Um, it's like they don't want like the free option. Like you would think that it's gonna be streamed all over Facebook and everything, but
Right.
like, that's their whole message: inclusion. For like, you would think that. I mean, just in general, you would think that it would want to be you'd want to be on all platforms because
Yeah, and like
who's really thinking of besides like people like us who are into politics, who's really thinking of going on CNN.com right now, or besides like watching it on the actual channel. Most people are just scrolling through Facebook, scrolling through YouTube, seeing
yeah,
what's on.
yeah. And nobody goes to CNN.com. Nobody wants to do that to themselves.
No,
Um,
no,
I'm like,
not even their web developers.
honestly, this is the first time I think I've ever actually gone to CNN.com, probably in my whole life.
Yeah, I
And
know,
it's just
right?
like, is there like an actual break going on in the thing right now? Or because it just seems to be like a bunch of commercials over and over or something.
Yeah, yeah. I think they kind of like run
Okay.
their own like personal website ads as like the actual because they got a break for TV commercials.
Yeah. Because like I'm watching it on the website where it's actually like live right now.
Mm,
It's just uh, it's like right now it's just this long ass like commercial break.
right.
I'm like,
Yeah, I mean it's been a complete clown show, and it's like You know, it's
Yeah,
kind of weird because
these.
I noticed something about last night's where it's like it seemed like they kind of gave those fringe candidates or like the kind of like middle of the pack candidates a little bit more time, almost like they're
Mhm.
trying to feel it out. Like, all right, like, are they really gonna go for the radical message or are we gonna go for more of a John Delaney or a Hickenlooper or how whatever his fucking
Yeah,
name is. Um,
yeah, and
because
like I
like
mean,
you got this guy who's like like really pro union like ex like union I forget
uh huh,
exactly what his title was, but he actually like worked with unions and stuff, and like Bernie's just like, oh, no one's more pro worker than me, and like the guy's just sitting there
oh
like
god,
I'm actually a union guy, like
right?
shut the fuck up, Bernie. um
Oh, it's so bad. Like, and like these debates are always just like a huge dumpster fire. But
oh yeah.
like just everything I've seen where Biden starts talking, it just seems like super embarrassing. Like he doesn't know where he is or something. Like he's kind of like fumbling through everything he says. He's like,
Yeah, speaking of which, he's doing that right now.
yeah, yeah. I'm like, I'm watching. I don't know how to. I do. I don't know if I can like how the
At least no
sound
one
going.
spoke in Spanish yet. We're keeping it to English.
All right, let me see if I can screen share here. This thing's gonna be all weird for me. Yes, it's okay. Screen share or
Screen
not?
share.
What the hell's happening? Yeah, it's being all weird. It might
Oh,
start
okay.
working in a minute. I don't know. I've been
Yeah,
having like troubles with YouTube.
all right. Like I can't really hear like both things because like I got you and
Yeah,
then they're not
yeah,
gonna
and
be
that's what
missing
I was
anything
gonna try
because
to
like
pull it up and like we could jump in, but like the screen share is not working. So
all right. I could turn this
I'm
up.
oh, here it is, captions. I was like, they gotta have closed captions, right? Now I can. That's gonna be a lot easier. So
Oh, they got
what are they
captions.
talking about legalizing?
Hold on. Oh, beautiful caption.
Yeah, yeah. There's a caption option, so that's
Awesome.
nice.
Awesome. Perfect.
Because I was like, there's no way they're doing that without any kind of a caption on it.
Awesome. Awesome. Look at that.
All right. Yep.
Um,
I see something about crack cocaine.
Crack cocaine disparity eliminated. You know, you know
Bullshit.
what? There was a video going around, and it was probably from a couple of years ago when raves were really a big thing, and that was the thing that was going on, and it's Joe Biden talking about how he's gonna crack down on all the raves, and
Oh
I sh-
god.
I shared
Because
on my
that's an issue we need to worry about.
I shared it on my Facebook, like like I never liked Joe Biden until I realized he was anti-techno. Like I am for President Joe Biden. Eliminate all techno 2020.
It just
Except
seems like
except except for the gorillas. The gorillas are cool. That's the
they're
only
picking.
techno.
Yeah, they're picking up like some of the stuff I'm like seeing that they have been talking about. It just seemed like, why is that even important? Some of the stuff they're going on about, like, well, this is what we should be doing. I'm like, why? Why is that important? I don't
Right.
understand.
Well, it's like they're really eating each other alive over the whole
Oh yeah,
radical versus pragmatic,
they're getting kind of
thing.
feisty too. I'm surprised. Like,
And, and it's like like right now it's like um, people are more worried about like what the person's gimmick is than
yeah,
what they're trying to say. Like, I've seen so many Democrats like um, like mostly like more radical ones, obviously.
yeah.
But they're like, oh, the one thing that we can't have is a white male because a white male can't beat Trump. And I'm like, I can understand that logic because like that brings in like it's all about the different audiences and what's the word I'm looking for? There's specific word for it,
Um, I'm not sure off the top of my head.
yeah, I understand the argument, but it's like if you're, I mean, I don't even know if there's really any people. I mean, there's women up there, and there's Cory Booker, who's like,
Yeah, he's talking now too. Yeah.
yeah, he's black, but it's like, is he really anything special? It's like, you know, it
Yeah, I don't really. Yeah, I mean, I've actually had no idea who he was until the debate started up, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like,
yeah.
most of these people, I'm just like, oh, I didn't know who they were.
Well, it's
Like, I
like
don't really.
he was one of the more like because it's like they had like 8 names like
Mhm.
um they were like in the head of the thing, and like he was one of like the top names, like him, Elizabeth Warren, Pete Buttigieg, um and the Corleone, Beto O'Rourke. Uh, so like he was up there, like just because he's black, and it's like he basically sounds like all of them, and it's like like all these moderate, medium names, that you really didn't hear about, are actually like making more substance arguments, which is
Yeah.
what the more blue collar American wants to see.
Hmm.
Um, and it's like they're really eating each other alive because it's like they're really arguing about the radical versus pragmatic
Yeah, that seems to be
approach,
like a
because like
really big thing in the Democrat
yeah
Party right now.
yeah
Um,
because like like a lot of these people are like, oh well, Biden's healthcare plan doesn't go far enough, and he's like, listen, like I was vice president, we did Obamacare, and that gave 100,000 people or whatever it was health insurance right out the bat. And
mhm.
he's like that's actual results other than just talking, which he is
Yeah.
right. Like as much as I disagree with all that and everything, it's like
Mhm.
he's right. That's the actual results. Like they did it. It actually, I'm not gonna say it worked, because I mean they accomplished it. It worked to a point, but then everyone got furious within a
Yeah.
matter of fucking years, and that's how we got fucking Donald Trump. It's like that's how bad the shit fucked
Yeah.
up, that we had to go to the unlikely savior of fucking Biff from Back to the Future.
It's I don't know, like this whole kind of thing going on with the Democrats right now is kind of interesting because I feel um like there's a lot more of kind of like some crazy like radical stuff coming out from the left right now. And like it's always been there, but I feel like I'm seeing it a lot more. Like it's being addressed a lot more.
Well, it's
Like
like you know what the funny thing is, like even everyone on stage right now, or like even like last night, they're not even as progressive as the loudest voices, on the
oh yeah,
left.
no.
Like, and I'm not talking about the majority. I'm talking about the loudest voices. I'm talking about the people that are out there protesting and getting into these
Hmm.
organizations and causes, and um, and it's like they're all like really left radicals, and they're basically calling all these people bootlickers, and they're like talking about like complete state orchestrated fucking Medicare.
Hmm. Yeah.
I mean, obviously that is a bootlicker thing, but it's like, the point is like they don't think it goes far enough. Like, they want
Yeah,
free
yeah.
healthcare, and they want free healthcare and a pony. I just want a pony.
I, I feel like that's kind of yeah, the healthcare thing is something I've been seeing get pushed a lot lately. That's been like a big thing because, like, I mean, our healthcare problems. I don't, like, I think insurance in general is like and something that needs to go away. That would actually help a lot of stuff. But
Mm.
yeah, the Democrats like to kind of pander the like concept of free healthcare. Like, hey, if you vote for us, you don't have to pay for medicine, and you're going to get paid more, and all this
Yeah,
stuff is just going to like it's just going to be like all this like fantasy stuff. They're completely unable to explain how they're going to accomplish that, but they're really good at promising it. Like,
yeah. It's like what's the first, like, well, not the first thing you learn as a kid, but like one of the first things you learn as a kid when you're like 3 to 4, and finally go out into the world, like don't trust strangers, with like candy and like stuff, like
that's a good
you know what I
analogy.
mean? It's like
Yeah, no, that's a perfect analogy. It's like politicians are like strangers with candy. Like, hey, come in my van. I got free healthcare. Like,
I could just like literally picture Joe Biden standing outside a fucking big rape van with a lollipop, like
he looks like he would drive like a creepy rape van. I don't know. I like,
yeah
I'm honestly surprised that like there are people out there right now that are actually taking him seriously as a candidate. I'm
yeah
like, you. you really want, like, he is such an incredible joke. It's amazing. Like, I actually wouldn't mind Biden getting a little bit further in the election because I think it would be hilarious.
Yeah. Well, it looks like
I
they're all going after him now. It's like it seems like because
Oh yeah, he's getting ganged up on.
trying to keep up with it. I watched it all up until we started rolling, but it's like every other shot was like someone like going at him. So it seems like they're all turning their attention to the front runner and seeing who the new leader is that emerges.
He's got the most like recognition right now. Everybody knows who Biden is. They're aware of who he is. He's been in the vice presidency. Like, it's easier to be like, well, this is what he's about. And if there's something a lot of, even Larry Sharp just tweeted that Biden is getting beaten up. You better start punching back. He's just, he's not good at debates.
And you know what? Like, if Biden ran in 2016, he would have fucking won. Now he has no fucking chance.
Yeah, I think he could. I mean, like, honestly, the only reason Trump is president is because
Hillary was the worst candidate.
They're fucking eggs into the Hillary Clinton basket. Like, that was by far the dumbest decision they could have made. Like,
and the best thing was, Elizabeth Warren was kind of hinting towards that last night. She's like, we can't put forward someone that no one's gonna have faith in. Blah 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 blah. Like that's a mistake that we made. And then, she basically followed it up with, that's why we have to pick me. Like,
like, we can't pick a horrible person. Pick me. And, like, you're not that self-aware, are you, Elizabeth? So, okay, Kamala Harris. I've been seeing her name kind of getting thrown out there here and there. I'm not familiar with her, though. Like,
I guess she's a cop. I mean, she knows how to do all the typical Democratic talking points, but it's like she's just another establishment candidate. Like, she's the one that all I'm not gonna say the moderate Democrats, but like the not radical leftist Democrats are turning their attention to, like, because they're not really satisfied with Biden. Like, oh well, like Kamala Harris is okay, like she has some of the needed principles, and like she's a woman, she's black, that's all that really matters.
It's sad that that's a strong point for a Democratic candidate, or even on the Republican side. Like, it gets used the same way. It's like, if you're not a white male, then that's going to be used as like a pro for you. I'm like, who gives a shit? I don't care if you're black or white or what you are, woman, man. Like, don't fuck everything up in the country. Like, just make things not so. Just wouldn't say like, I don't want to say like make things a certain way, because I'm more of like, don't do anything. Just start taking things away instead of adding stuff. That would actually be the best thing you could do.
Yeah, because obviously we, we're a country that doesn't really care about race. I mean, I didn't vote for Obama, but what are we, like 80% white, and we elected a black president? Like, so.
Yeah.
I think the whole racist America thing is.
It's just dumb when it comes. I was like,
I think that's something disproven. Like.
Yeah, our country voted for a black guy twice. I'm like, I knew like Republicans that voted for Obama because they just didn't like McCain or Romney.
Yeah, they're just not going to vote for a Democrat, no matter. It could have been a black Republican versus a white Democrat, and they're still going to vote for, Republican.
Yeah. There's I'm actually kind of like, Larry tweeted again, and after this tweet, I'm kind of like noticing how much he actually does say this, Biden. He says the fact is Biden's filler words when he's reeling. Here's the deal is Biden's filler words when he's thinking. I'm like, yeah, he does. He kind of does a lot of that.
I mean, everyone does it. Like, I have my little clips too. Like,
but it's funny because like I think Biden genuinely has no idea how to answer any of these questions. Like, he just seems extremely unprepared, and he's doing these like kind of, like, well, here's the thing, and there's, because he's trying to think. He's like, stalling a little bit. They're like, how the hell am I supposed to?
He's like an old guy trying to talk internet with a bunch of teenagers.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, oh yeah, oh yeah, I checked my email yesterday. It's like, email? Fuck's an email?
There's lots of going on the justice system right now, like jail system. Okay, here's like
hold on. Like you know, just you know, show the audience, you know, because you know you got to appreciate this. I mean, I'm not a huge Tulsi Gabbard fan, but goddamn, she looks good.
Like, did you see?
That would be a good looking president. I'm sorry.
She had like this thing on her Twitter where she was like doing yoga or something. I'm like, yeah, she's really attractive. Like that's actually like, I don't like any of it. Like I would never vote for them, but like I do hope that Tulsi actually gets like kind of decently far into the whole election thing, because I think there are some specific things that she is saying that needs to be brought up from a Democrat a lot more, like things like talking about how it's ridiculous how many people are jailed like because of marijuana, and like foreign policy is like a huge thing. I really enjoy like her stance on that. I pretty much disagree with her on like a million other things, but
See, like that's the thing. Like a lot of people, like she's not a bad candidate. She's actually one of the better ones.
Yeah.
But it's like people like overrate her by saying like, oh, like, you know, she's like, you know, much better than, you know, all the rest by like a long shot. And I'm just like, you know, not really. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, she says she does say she has some very good points on. Yeah, she has some very good points on some stuff, but there's just like far too much more that I disagree with her on. But like, it's just one of the things that I do appreciate about her is you don't frequently hear a Democrat is so big on foreign policy like that.
If you look right now at Kamala Harris and Tulsi Gabbard, it almost looks like you know, the before and after beer goggles.
Well, and that's actually kind of one of the amusing things. I was gonna like make a comment about this on Twitter at some point, because
we gotta make that a meme.
That would be good. Yeah, I'm sure we could get like a screenshot of that. For a lot of people, for some reason, looks like actually matter to voters sometimes. I don't understand why. But for a lot of voters, looks matter, and I'm like, yeah, she could probably do pretty well, even if she's complete nonsense.
It's not that looks matter. It's not like, you know, when you're looking at a president, you're like, oh,
yeah, it's not like
who's the best looking president? Like that's who I'm gonna vote for. But it's like when there are good looking people and they're talking, you're gonna pay attention a lot more. Like, you know, like look at people like Nicole Arbor. It's like, what does she say that, you know, really that, you know, different than any other person is saying on the internet? Really nothing. But, you know, because she's a gorgeous blonde with, you know, humongous tits and, you know, tight ass shirts, like she's gonna get 1 million views and people are like, oh my god, that's so brilliant. You're so smart, you know, like.
Yeah. It's just, I see a lot of people, like, it's not that it comes down to looks for them, but it does seem like it's weird, like when they get into their like kind of like more of the finals stuff, like for some reason looks end up coming up a lot. Like, I remember that a lot with Obama, because like people were talked about like how like he was an attractive guy, I guess, for a lot of people, and like it would always get brought up, and I'm like, who cares? No,
right.
I don't care how they look.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to vote for any Democrats anyway. I mean, I'm not going to vote for Democrats or Republicans. I haven't seen anybody who would actually feel comfortable voting for. But you know, it's interesting to be able to like look at a party where you know you're not going to vote for these people, and you know that you disagree with so much, but I can still appreciate when they do say some things that I think more Democrats need to hear and understand. Like things like foreign policy.
We're all human, so we're gonna agree with. We're all human, so we're gonna agree in some capacity. It's like mostly with politics, like everyone agrees that there are certain problems, and we all agree that there should be solutions to these problems, but it's, you know, differences of how we go about these solutions. You know, obviously the Democrats is, you know, for the government to take control of everything and raise taxes and doing so. The libertarian answer is like no, like just become better people and
Yeah.
if you want to get shit done, get shit done. Like what's that old saying? If you want something done, you got to do it yourself.
Yeah. Well,
Something
and that's
done
just
right.
like, I mean,
Sorry.
that's one of the things I do appreciate about like when I watch these debates, because I'm like, okay, like, because like I can just sit back and laugh at it because a lot of the stuff they say is just nonsense. But then sometimes somebody will say something and I'm like, you know what? It's actually nice to hear a Democrat say that and be like, hey, this is ridiculous that we have people in jail for smoking pot. It's ridiculous that we're spending all this money overseas for like in all these different countries and like putting troops everywhere overseas. Like
Yeah.
yeah, because I mean, every Democrat, like if you ever discuss Obama with like somebody like a really diehard Democrat, one of the biggest criticisms
Yeah.
they end up having is his horrible foreign policy, and they just ignore it. They push it under the rug. They pretend like that's not a thing. And it's nice to actually see some Democrats now being like, okay, we need to stop doing that. Like,
Yeah. It's
it's
good to see
both
it.
sides
It's
are
good to see
guilty
differences of ideas.
of this. Yeah.
Yeah, because I
So
mean,
I like, I don't know. It kind of,
most of it has just been, oh well, I'm not Trump, and whoever has the best chance to beat Trump should win. And it's like
that's a big
you're
thing
not,
too.
yeah, like it's like you're like less caring about the ideas and you're more focusing on your opponent, which I get. Like you got to focus on your opponent to some degree, but it's like a year's a long way from now. Like all the scandal shit could, hit a new high point and he could resign and it could be, a completely new race where the Democrats are dominant and then that primary becomes, not who can battle Donald Trump the best, but, who among them is, the best. And, I think a lot of these guys are like, their whole, stick is, a lot of the states like say that they're from a state that actually lost to Trump, that the Democrats lost to Trump.
Mm-hmm.
They can make the argument like, well, I control that state, so you don't have to worry about that state, and that's going to be a major state in the election. And you just kind
Yeah.
of had that one little stick, and that's like basically your own thing because you had that local familiarity. Like if Elizabeth Warren runs, like people around Massachusetts are going to vote for her, like just because she's the
Yeah.
Massachusetts senator, without knowing a goddamn thing about
Well, yeah.
politics.
I mean, like it's kind of one of those given things. Like if they're able to like really do so well in their state, that they are already in politics in that state, like there's a good chance that people from that state, like,
Mm.
yeah, it. But I don't know. I'm like still like trying to get caught up. I know, like, because there's a few
You
people.
you don't
Like I
want to
know
end up like
I don't.
Mondale
Was
though.
on last night. What was this? Delaney. Was
Yeah,
he on last night?
yeah,
That
yeah,
guy just. I had no idea who he was. My first introduction to him was him saying, like, we need to have mandatory national service. And I was like, yep, don't like you. Like,
yeah.
you can fuck off, dude. I don't know anything else about you, but yeah,
Oh,
fuck that. That's
speaking of which, if anyone does not follow our Facebook page, you one absolutely
oh, yes.
should because it's fucking awesome. But I took
That meme was hilarious.
I took Delaney's tweet and I was like, let me just put Donald Trump's like little like icon on top of it, and just like in complete pose law, like just see what the reaction's gonna be from both sides,
Right.
and it couldn't
People
have
caught
gone.
on,
I
but
think
yeah.
it didn't get great
But most,
traction, like it didn't get great
yeah.
reach, but the reactions themselves were so perfect because like you can like hit the little share thing and like you can like see who shared it and like you'll see like people's captions and it's like you know some of them were like leftists like oh Trump Hitler youth I mean Trump youth or like like
Yeah.
making fascist jokes about Donald Trump and then you had Republicans sharing it like saying like that's a great idea, get America back into shape, yeehaw.
It's so dumb. Well, no, because like I remember there was actually because there was that dude that like in our inbox that was like flipping his shit and
yeah, he's like, oh, so is JFK a fascist too? I'm like,
right.
well, Well, JFK never said mandatory national
Yeah,
service. Like, because
that's
he was talking about
totally different.
he was talking about his quote, and it's like, no, he was talking about civic duty, which is like,
I was laughing so hard when I read that, like, because
oh my
I
god,
saw in our like the admin chat that somebody like was like kind of losing their shit in the inbox, and so I went to check it out. It was just like, oh my god, that's so embarrassing for that guy. But no, like that's actually one of those things. Because when you did that with the meme, it reminded me of some show or something. They like went around to like this Democrat gathering, and then they were like saying that JFK quote, but not
yeah.
saying who said it. And everybody was like, "Who said that? Trump? That's ridiculous. That's crazy." Blah blah, like freaking out about it. I was like, "No, it was actually JFK, Democrat."
How do you not know that quote? Like, as an American, like, I'm sorry.
Like, people are so dumb.
Right.
It's so
Right. Like that. That's
it's
just like one of the like the more renowned. Like, I don't expect you to know like every single presidential quote, obviously, but that's a pretty renowned one. That's like 4 score and 7 years ago.
yeah, yeah,
You know.
and it's crazy. But
Um.
like, here's the thing too, though, is like from when I can remember, it was pretty much all younger people. Um, I'm like, they're not. They kind of don't
But hey, those are the ones with
back on like
the
past
correct
politics.
political opinions that don't know shit.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of fun though. I don't know, like some of the just I don't remember. It was like recently on Twitter. This guy ended up blocking me. Um, it was really funny though. He Jesus Christ, he was going on about how like basically, like great Republicans and conservatives are, and it's good that we like go blow up people overseas and stuff. And then he was like, I was like, so it's okay. So I was like, you're pro bombing people, and he was like, only a minuscule amount of like the people we kill overseas are innocent. I was like, that is not a good argument to make, dude.
Right.
Like,
Right.
this is
Yeah.
a horrible argument to make. You're basically saying collateral damage is fine.
Right,
Like, yeah,
right.
that's
It's like a burglar's coming out of the fucking bank, and it's like, well, we'll just use a
right.
bazooka, because
My thing is always
as long as
too.
we get the burglar,
Yeah, with an argument like that though, because they're always like, "Oh, only like so many innocent people were killed." I'm like, "Oh, how do you
oh
know
my
that
god,
though?" Because they're like, "Oh, this number was suspected terrorists." Oh, it's like, "Oh, so they went through the whole trial and found guilty and everything." And like, no, we just thought they could be terrorists. We blew the fuck up. Like, we just drop bombs on them. Like that's
right,
the problem I
right,
have. It's like these people aren't being tried. They're not even like having a chance to like have any kind of like a defense there.
mm.
Like we're saying we think they could be terrorists, so we just wipe out a village. I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I'm saying this as a veteran. Like
Right,
it's
right, right.
disturbing like how bad our foreign policy is over there.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely is. Like, actually, if you look at the first episode of my YouTube, I had my friend from Pakistan on, talking about how he's actually a Trump supporter, basically just because of the foreign policy, and how
Mm,
Obama's foreign policy was absolutely shit for him.
yeah.
Um, and it's like I like that one because it brought into a different perspective. Um, but not to get too much
No,
off topic. There we were somewhere, and then like I completely forgot where we were going because we kind of like went into that like a whole new spiral. I wish I could gather my thoughts that I had a second ago because it was a good one. Ah, shit.
sorry. Um,
It's okay. It happens. It
No,
happens.
Josie, the redheaded libertarian. It was, she had the tweet where she said, "Tulsi is hot. I would." And that was her tweet. Like, okay,
She is a total pilf.
that's a good one. Politician I'd
You
like to
know,
fuck. I'm guessing.
president, assuming,
Oh,
but because we already got the quill, the congresswoman I'd like to fuck, a quill, uh, you know, state stage one quill, stage two quill, it's all in, she's definitely a stage 10 quill right there. Um, but I was gonna say, you know, it was I also did I kind of like doing the deceptive you know, quote memes.
Uh-huh.
You know, to like just kind of like, you know, fool people into things because
Oh, yeah.
I did one with it was an Ayn Rand quote and I put Bernie Sanders on it. And you know, of course, I shared it all around like
Of
all like
course.
my group, my groups, and I'm just like, you know, I'm just like, you know, like made a caption that's like, goddamn fucking communists, like what a piece of shit, and like, you know, like the leftists were defending it and stuff like that, and like,
Yeah. No, it's
you know,
great because it's such a like it's a fun troll to do, and I like it though because it does show like how deep people's biases go. That even if like deep down in their heart they probably don't even agree with it, but because it's attributed it to somebody on like that they would want to vote for, or somebody that like is has a D or an R in front of their name, then they just jump on board, and it kind of like shows this just complete lack of like awareness of who you're actually voting for, why you're voting for them, like kind of thing. It's it's amazing. That's what I really like when they like those kind of this flip flop quotes things happen. It shows just how incredibly biased people are, because I'm like, I don't care how much I like a specific politician, which I don't like any politicians really that much, but I don't care
yeah,
how much I like a politician. If they say something I don't like, I'm gonna call them out on it. Like, I don't give a fuck if they're a
yeah.
libertarian. Like, I'm gonna call you
I,
out if I don't like what you're saying.
I think for a while we were doing the whole gag of mixing up Groucho and Karl Marx. Like we put like a picture of like Karl Marx with the Groucho Marx quote, and then like we do like the opposite of
That's
that.
awesome. Actually, I think like, I mean, if Bernie actually gets further in this collection, doing like some kind of like flip flop quotes for Bernie would be amusing. I would love to put those out
Oh,
there
I
just to
mean
see how people will like lose it.
those memes will be alive long after he is.
Sorry. I just like as soon as you said that, I was like, what, for like the next 2 weeks? Because he looks like he's gonna die any minute now.
Right.
Seriously, I can't. Because I mean, everybody, like every president, you
Like
look at them when they go into
he might
office.
have a heart attack if Tulsi Gabbard bends down right now. I mean, I might too, but you know, him
I
definitely.
probably would. No, seriously.
Oh.
See if I can find that video on Twitter. She did something. Like, she was doing some like kind of exercise thing, and she had like these like skin tight pants on and stuff, and like people were like freaking out in the whole thread. It was hilarious. Yeah. I don't know. It's just like, I was like, she knew what she was doing there. There's no way she didn't. Oh, here it is. Oh, I don't have my thing up. I can't see where the phone is. Here we go. It's like, yeah, she knew what she was doing when she posted it.
Right.
And she has it up there like it's just a whole like, doing my morning exercise thing. And yeah, her just ass is like all over the place in this video. It's like, there is no way she did not do that. Like, I don't like to say that like a person's doing it for attention, but I'm like, and I'm sure like that wasn't her sole intent, but I do feel like some part of her knew posting that video would get traction.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, like look at AOC. You know, like I know a lot of people say that she's not attractive. Like I think her face like isn't
I
that
don't
great.
know. I can't.
But
Just
it's
something
like,
about her face makes me want to
yeah,
throw up a little bit.
her face is you know, another story. But I mean, she's young, she's got a body, and it's like you really think about it, like how many like nobody you know, people that can talk about socialist ideas do you have floating around New York, and
Yeah.
like all of a sudden she comes out of nowhere and run like. There must have been a dime a dozen. Like, if you put that, you know, same idea, like with her, you know, face and body, you know, there must have been 20 of those same candidates going, you know, throughout the years in that same area in New York, and you know, all of a sudden, like she comes along, like oh well, this one has big tits at least. Like, let's go with
Yeah.
her.
Okay, I'm not joking. Like, I guarantee if Tulsi like gets far enough, like there are gonna be people that vote for her just because she's hot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like if I was gonna vote in the Democrat, I mean, like honestly, it's like her foreign policy stuff and like some of the things I actually do agree with would be the reason I would vote for her. Like the whole like her being attractive is like a really good plus. And yeah, from the chat, like she does look like ridiculously adorable in that video where she's all like giddy and like jumping around and like sounds so happy and stuff. And I'm like, it's one of those things because when you see it, like a lot of politicians, they always just seem so fake. She kind of seems. That's one of the things I do like about her is she kind of
like
more genuine.
Like Elizabeth Warren, like, come have a beer with Elizabeth Warren.
Or Hillary Clinton with her.
Like this is what real Americans do: just sit around and have a beer and maybe watch a football game.
Like yeah, no.
She's like, am I holding it right?
You know that there's like probably like 50 staffers like that she has like trying to make sure she looks like an actual human when she does something like that too and not come off as it fails every time. But
yeah, one of the strings breaks.
Because like see, this is something though, like if I was like scrolling through Twitter and then, you know, I saw like Elizabeth Warren posting this video, I'm pretty sure I would end up killing myself having to have watched that. But you know, Tulsi Gabbard's like hopping around and stuff, and it's just kind of like, oh, that's, you know, that's nice.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's in her Twitter feed.
Imagine Bernie Sanders in a cow aesthetic video.
No, I want to see Bernie Sanders recreate that video now. Tulsi.
I just find it
so fast.
Oh man, that's
like, it just like for the people watching. If you just go to Tulsi, like her, it's a little further down because she tweets frequently, but it's easy to find. And I just retweeted it to tag Josie in it. So
do we have any viewers right now?
Yeah, we have a few. There's some people in the chat talking to.
Oh, okay.
Somebody said Trump's sexy as fuck. I'm sorry about your eyesight, dude.
Well, I mean, you know, it's in the eye of the beholder, right? You know, like, yes. I mean, Ron. I mean, obviously he has a giant dong, but Ron Jeremy is a world class.
Yeah, that guy looks ugly as sin.
Like he looks like he came out of a fucking bridge.
And then there's somebody in the chat. Also, she or he, I'm not sure, finds AOC attractive. So there's people there.
Don't get fooled by them big socialist titties.
There's
you every time.
So, like, too bad.
Under socialism, remember, under socialism, tits cannot get that big because of food shortages.
Yeah, that's true. See, like, I don't think AOC is ugly. Like, I don't think she's ugly.
Right.
Like, to me, like, I don't know what it is, and I think it's because she just kind of always looks like she's kind of scowling and just like looks like pissy. I don't know. She just seems like
she's got kind of that horse face.
She would be like just super obnoxious. Like I kind of like see her as like a Karen that like wants to speak to the manager and stuff. Just like these facial expressions she makes, and it just like I don't know. Like and it like okay for me, personality actually plays like a huge part into whether I find a person attractive or hot.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
It like that. It shuts it down for me when like she's just so stupid. It's like I can agree she is attractive. She has attractive qualities. I personally just do not find her attractive. I'm not saying she's ugly by any means, but I just don't personally find her attractive. And I would also not be like completely upset, you know, if she got hit by a bus or something. But
right,
you know,
and you know, we're also talking about like, you know, because it's like it's such a hard pull when we're talking about politicians because it's like, you know, where do we go after?
I like how sidetracked we
go after like Tulsi Gabbard and AOC and you know Kirsten Gillibrand, you know, here. It's like, what do we go to Elizabeth Warren and Hillary Clinton? Like, ugh.
Oh, I know though.
Oh my god!
I just like how sidetracked we got from like we were talking about the debates, and then it just got into like ranking Democratic female Democrats. And, I don't know. That's just funny to me, though. Like, out of like, I mean, I would honestly like.
I think the third most attractive Democratic female is definitely Mayor Pete.
Who?
Mayor Pete. That's a joke.
Okay, I think I know what you mean. No, like I would love to have like any person that was running for office like come on the live stream. But like if I could have my pick, I would pick Tulsi Gabbard because I actually want to like kind of dive into her like heavy approach towards criticizing foreign policy. Like it's actually somebody's doing that for me.
I like Andrew Yang out of the group because like
I remember.
Like he's not ideal. Like if I was running, I would not be talking the platform that Andrew Yang is talking.
Mm-hmm.
But at least he has roots to more classical economics.
Actually, Larry, because he tweeted like his personal favorites, who he liked the most from the night as Tulsi and Andrew. Like out of the bunch, they like were the least crazy kind of thing.
Yeah, well, like Yang has bad ideas, but he also has some good ideas. Like, he was on the what's that guy's name? Joe Rogan show. Talking about education, how all the Democrats get it wrong, where it's like, not everyone is like a college student, like, going on to be a doctor. Like, some people are going to be tradesmen. Some people are going to be, going into their own businesses. Like,
Mm-hmm.
He was basically saying like college isn't the end all be all fix all of
totally
things,
true.
and
people act like it just means you're going to get a good job, and I'm like, that's not true.
Yeah, so it's like
it depends.
He's definitely better in that retrospect. Not that I favor this necessarily, but he's talking about replacing the income tax with a value-added tax. So it's like we're gaining tax, but we're also losing the worst of the taxes.
Mm-hmm. See, any politician that comes on and starts saying property tax is like the first thing they want to cut, I think I would be like, because
and the third point of Andrew Yang, he is actually. I mean, there's a lot of status policies in there, but as far as economics, he is the least, into government control of economics because, what's his plan?
Market kind of stuff.
Like, just tax and give everyone $1,000 and let the market play out. Like, he's not talking about, making the prices for the drug industry, the drug industry. That's what Joe Biden was saying earlier. And he's one of the more moderate guys in this whole, healthcare thing. So it's like, all these people are talking about actually having the state control the economic power structure, which I have more of a problem with than actual taxation. Like, a lot of libertarians are going to go on about taxation, but it's like,
actually,
it's gonna happen.
From the chat, somebody said that's not what he wants, Mike. Can you elaborate on that? Karma's Pimp. I like that name. Just if you want to elaborate on that, we can address it. I can have Michael address it directly.
What do you say he doesn't want?
He just said that's not what he wants, Mike. I'm not sure which part that was addressing. So,
well, I mean, I'm only going off my source, which is actual Andrew Yang and his interviews.
Mm-hmm.
So
and that's where I'm just like, that's why I'm asking if you can elaborate in the chat, then we can tackle that if they want.
I mean, if you have something that says otherwise, or is kind of an argument to why it's not quite as I'm explaining it, like I'll take that. But I'm just going off what I heard him say on the Joe Rogan podcast, because I watched that. It was a really good one, actually.
I would actually like for Tulsi to go on there, because she was like, oh no, actually she was on there, I think. Joe, I think either that or they had like some kind of a private conversation, because Joe had some like just stupid fucking, I don't know if she was like a journalist or some kind of just like amateur politician, but she was trying to like badmouth Tulsi. And Joe was like,
really?
I like Tulsi. We like, when I talked to her, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, when did you talk to her? I gotta like actually look that up sometime. But it was funny because she was trying to badmouth Tulsi and like explain why she didn't like her. And then like this lady had no idea why she didn't actually like Tulsi. And she was so bad at explaining it. It was hilarious. She was floundering so bad in that in that whole interview. The girl from Russia Today, what?
The girl from...
I don't know what that means.
Is that the same guy that said that he wasn't for that or whatever? Is that what
Yeah,
he was
I'm not
answering with?
sure what that's in reference to.
I'm not sure about what the Russian girl has to do with Andrew Yang, but okay. But yeah, like Andrew Yang by all means is not ideal. But
Oh yeah,
like when
I mean,
when
I feel
when
the
you
same way about Tulsi.
when you're really talking about it, like he, out of all of them, he makes the most sense. I mean, he has some radical ideas and some very big change ideas, but
Oh, okay, sorry.
in a lot of
The
ways,
girl
I
from
think.
Russia Today, he was talking about the journalist. I am actually not sure who she was from. I didn't actually watch the whole podcast. It was a clip of people like criticizing it. It was really interesting because they were like playing the clips, and then she was like, because I know she called Tulsi Gabbard a toady, and then Joe Rogan goes, well, what's that mean? And she was like, she had no idea. She was calling Tulsi Gabbard a name, and she didn't actually know what that name meant. It was like
Yeah,
something she had
I mean
heard
that's
somebody
just like
else say.
that's just like when the leftists use the word fascist. They have no idea what it means. They just say
Oh
it.
yeah. It's just like she obviously had heard somebody else say that, like, oh, this is this person, like, she probably at her work heard somebody say like, I don't like Tulsi, she's a toady, and then she was like, oh, okay. Has no idea what that meant. It was just
Right.
kind of like, she was like, her ignorance was on full display. It was actually quite hilarious though. Like, if I need to see if I can find that clip sometime and post it, because I don't know, it was just amazing. Like, to see somebody like heavily criticize a person, but I actually know the reasons why they're criticizing that person so much.
I
Like, they
mean
don't even know.
that happens all the time. Like that's just kind of like how we've
Oh
become
yeah.
as a society. Like, oh, why don't you like her? Like, I don't know, I just don't. Like,
Yeah, I was like, I was told not to like her by somebody. That's essentially what I end up like, because like I will criticize Obama.
right.
Like I remember when it was like his birthday or something, and it people were like, it's Obama Day, and they were like, everybody was like going on and like fawning over him like they do, and I'm like, that's cool. Kind of wish he didn't like murder a whole bunch of people overseas and all that stuff and all of his drone strikes. Like, because I'm like, I don't like Obama, and then everybody's like, why? I'm like, oh, here's all my reasons why. I don't like Trump. Why? Here's all my reasons why. Like, I've never just hated a politician outright. Like,
Right.
like the ones from tonight, like on the debate tonight, and the ones from the debate last night, the ones that I haven't specifically criticized, I haven't criticized just because I don't know anything about them yet. Like, I'm still kind of getting caught up on all this. So like the ones that I do know well enough, and I have researched and I have found reasons to, like, I'm still learning more about Delaney. I fucking don't like him right off the bat because of his whole mandatory service bullshit. But I'm like, not finding a lot of stuff to change my mind on my dislike for him,
Right.
So I'm just like, if I'm not gonna like somebody, I want to make sure I have a reason to. So like, if somebody's coming up to me and saying, "Why don't you like this person?" Here's why. I'm not just gonna say it because, I'm not gonna hate everybody on that panel just because they're a Democrat. I need to know like why I don't like them.
Well, you know what? Like when it comes to an organization, I think you can kind of judge things upon the organization to a
That makes
point.
sense, but I do think,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but you can't hate them
like
specifically because of their association. There has to be some, like, if you're singling them out, if you're singling the person out, you cannot hate them based on their association solely. Like,
oh yeah.
if you want to say like, I don't like I'll say
Well,
I don't like most Democrats.
there's levels to it. Like, you can reserve the individual judgment, but
Mhm.
like, all right, like just say you just like work for a company that's like absolutely, terrible to the environment and just like absolutely immoral,
Mhm.
and that like everyone is like 90% of America is boycotting because it's that terrible, and you're still working there. It's like, yeah, you may not be guilty of all the things that
Mhm.
is going on here. You're just someone that's trying to work and um do your thing, but it's like you're still choosing to be represented by that group.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so it's like,
Um,
yeah, if you want to be a politician talking about some ideas, like, okay, like that's cool, but if you're with the Democrats, I can kind of like sit there and roll my eyes and be like, really, you're gonna roll with that company, like.
yeah, and I mean, like, okay, like my best friend is Republican, and he voted for Trump. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't, and he tells me why, but it's kind of actually like one of the reasons, like, I really like this guy is because he, he's actually one of the most critical people I know about Trump, because he's like, his whole mindset is, I voted for him, and if he starts doing a bunch of stupid shit, that reflects on me, kind of thing. I was like, I voted for you. Like, you need to do a better job than what you're doing. And he's actually like, does not like Trump anymore. Like, dude, just all like he's just like, oh my god, I wish dude would just log the fuck off of Twitter. Um, something from the chat where they're saying like, if the politician can't articulate well, then they're not going to take them seriously. That's an interesting point, because I actually think like Obama was, as much as I don't like him, he was an incredible speaker. Like, he did really
Mm.
well. He was a very, very good speaker, and when he talked, people kind of listened. And even if what he was saying was just a bunch of bullshit, people still just stopped and listened to him because of how well he spoke. Like, being a good, and I think if you're going to kind of go into that kind of a racket, like politician stuff, then you really do need to be able to express yourself well. Otherwise, people are just going to tune out. Even if you're saying the right things, it's hard to just listen. Like, if you can't explain yourself quite as well, or you can't actually like put it into the proper
Right.
words, people are going to start tuning out. And
Yeah,
so
it's like,
it's
yeah,
actually for me.
you gotta give credit where credit's due, or otherwise
Oh yeah.
it's like you just become a hater like everyone else. Like, I can
Mhm.
admit where Obama does good things, and
Yeah, like, I don't like Obama, but there are things I can say, okay, he did a good job here. He did a good thing here. Like, I mean,
yeah,
like,
and
I've been
that's
alive, I'll
exactly how
say
I.
there's not been a president that I actually liked. But every president since I've been alive, at least, I can like point out some things that are like, okay, because you're in this job for 4 years at least,
Mm,
you're bound to do something right at some point. Like, that's the
right,
thing.
right.
It's like,
Broke the clock.
yeah, I fundamentally disagree with Democrats and Republicans on a lot of things, but there is some common ground here and there. And that's like, otherwise I would kind of, there's no reason I would even say like, I like Tulsi Gabbard. I like some of the things she says. Like, you're going to find common ground with everyone.
Mm.
What's that? I'm sorry, I'm still trying to read from the chat. But yeah, that's just a thing. Like, you gotta really kind of do a good job paying attention to. And politicians are slick talkers, so like they'll say a lot of
Mm-hmm.
shit that makes no sense.
Yeah, like my analogy earlier with the stranger with the candy with the vape
Yes,
pen.
that's a
But
good
yeah,
one.
that's pretty much what politicians are.
Okay, well,
Um,
we missed some of a lot of the debate because we kind of going off once.
I
But
think we kind
Larry,
of got the meat and potatoes in the first part, and then like
yeah, no, we're having, yeah, it's just having a good
it,
discussion now.
it
I
seems
wanted
like
to.
the rest of it was like basically Joe Biden, you're bullshitting all of us. Like, get out the stage, old man.
Um, but Larry tweeted another thing about Tulsi. Is apparently, he says, did Tulsi Gabbard just advocate? I don't have no idea if I'm saying her name right or not. Did she just advocate for fair trade that retains her sovereignty? Does she care about local laws, the environment, and small farmers? Is she against tariffs? Yes to all. Wow, not bad. and then he did like a hashtag different Democrat.
Yeah. Well,
And like I said, like overall, I think the majority of the stuff she believes in, I would disagree with, but she's saying things that I feel like we don't get to typically hear from Democrats in those power. And I think that's actually what's kind of impressing a lot of people right now. Not so much the Democrats, though, but like everybody else. They're like, oh, wow, we haven't heard a Democrat actually legitimately be anti-war in a long time.
I'm sure there's some like sane, like moderate Democrats that are resonating with her because like she seems like an adult. She has some good ideas, and it's like, she's not she's not engaged in the war tactics of everyone else. Not like foreign policy wise, but in the debate. She came off as very reserved and like just kind of did her thing. She didn't get into all that mess like. So it's like, yeah, I like, I wouldn't say I like Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think she's definitely one of the better ones.
Yeah, it's like kind of like how you are with Andrew Yang. I feel like I am with Tulsi Gabbard. Like there's some things that kind of make me like. I would say like here's the thing: if I was forced to vote Democrat, like in that primary, I would vote for her. I would just be like, sure. Like if I had to, I'm not gonna because.
Like when I say I like Andrew Yang, I mean it in a way of like like 10 rocks are coming at me and I have to get hit by one and I have to choose which one's gonna hurt less.
Yeah, and that's kind of same like for me, just kind of swapping out to a different person, but like it's the same concept. It was like I can see where this person has some kind of value in like this debate. Like they're not just just nonsense. It's not like listening to Elizabeth Warren talk like ever. Just So there was something of Bernie throwing up his arms because somebody says, "Did you see the throwing arms up thing?" And it's after somebody said something about Bernie.
Well, yeah, Bernie was on last night.
Yeah, because I saw like when I tried to like Google it, and the first thing I came up was just this headline says, "Hickenlooper to Sanders, go ahead, throw your hands up." What the what happened in that debate?
I'm trying to remember that like exact line, but I think I know what he's talking about because they're
Jesus.
They're basically
Bernie just looks like he's about to have a heart attack. Look at him in this picture though. He looks insane.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's like they were arguing about healthcare and basically like actually I think I'm mixing up Hickenlooper with the other guy. So if I am, I'm sorry, but
it says during CNN's Democratic primary debate, Senator Bernie Sanders and former Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper sparred over whether Sanders is too extreme to beat President Trump in 2020. Interesting.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if I'm mixing up Hickenlooper with the other guy, but there was an exchange where he got all hot and bothered, where one guy was saying like, listen, like we can't get rid of the private option because it's like, you have employer benefited, healthcare that people really like their healthcare. So it's like, you're basically, going to be like not like a obvious physical war, but like you're going to be starting a war by, saying that people can't have the insurance that they've trusted for years.
I just real quick because I think this is from the debate last night, but like it seriously looks like he's just about to fucking snap and start killing somebody. Like his eyes look insane. Look at that guy.
Yeah, because like
that is one weird ass old man.
Every time someone criticizes him, he's like, listen, nobody cares more about the workers and the poor than me. I am the best one for fighting the corporations. Nobody's better than me. I am the best left-leaning Democrat here. Rah, 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 rah. And it's just
sounds like Trump.
Pretty much.
I'm the best one. Oh my god, that's
like,
amazing.
Maybe he's just getting old and like, because
he's probably senile by now.
This last year. Yeah, he's definitely showing them signs like. It's basically like the old man having a temper tantrum, like in the middle of the fucking day over fucking nothing.
to give Bernie like a little credit here, he did get completely fucked over by Clinton in that last election. I can see him being really frustrated right now, kind of having to start from the beginning again and being on stage with all these people and being like, look, I know, like kind of in his mind being like, I've made it further than this already. It's frustrating that I had to come back here and start from this point and kind of like keep working my way back up there. I could see like somebody actually being like legitimately kind of frustrated about that. Like, I've already explained all this before 4 years ago. Why do I have to do it again? Like,
No, like I really like, because you know what, like I don't really think Bernie's in it to win the presidency. Like I kind of think
it feels
he
like that. Like it's more about getting like a message out there or something.
yeah, because like you know, I think they know that he's kind of an old candidate to be running for president. Like, because
Mhm.
most normal people, like that was the big thing. It's like, well, he's old,
Yeah.
and president's a stressful job. So in a
Yeah.
way, I think it's like he kind of does it for the buzz, because before he
Mhm.
ran for president, like he was a long time senator, and like you know, other political histories, and like you know, he's always kind of had his hand in things.
Mhm.
But I think he kind of like use utilize this to kind of like put himself in the limelight, because now he's a celebrity. Like, you
Oh yeah.
know,
Yeah, for sure.
he's like actually a celebrity. Like he could,
Mhm.
he said like if he stopped being in Congress, you know, next, like if he lost the next election or like quit out next election, he could still make lots of money, like doing appearances at colleges and
Yeah, I was
speaking,
gonna say he could
and
comfortably
you
live
know,
the rest of his life
talk shows.
just doing appearances, like
Hmm.
just doing
and
appearances.
and that's what he set himself up.
Hmm.
So you know, like I have no problem thinking that that's, you know, the way it is.
Yeah,
Because
I, like,
that's it. That's the only way that it really explains why,
yeah.
you
Why
know,
he's
he was like
trying?
he's like so frightened, and it's like as soon as it happened, like, oh, that's fine, yeah, vote for Clinton because we can't have Trump. Like he
Yeah,
did nothing. Like he showed no fucking testicular fortitude when that happened.
I don't think he has that
If he
much
was
fight in him.
if he was a man of principle, he would have flipped his shit, went independent,
Yeah,
and fucking said, "Screw the Democratic Party, I'm out."
yeah. He played the party line.
Just like Justin Amash did.
That's
Like you can say, like I'm not a big fan of Justin Amash. Like,
mhm,
you know, he's at least a libertarian. You know, but at least he had the balls to say, "Okay, fuck you, Republican Party, I'm
mhm.
out." Put an I next to my name.
Well, and I feel like that to me that says a lot about Bernie Sanders' character. Is that
Mhm.
at the end of the day, he towed the party line. Like
Mhm.
he did not stick to those principles. Like, you know, I'm sorry, you cannot spend months and months telling everybody why this one specific person is horrible to vote for and you're so much of a better option, and then at the end be like, yeah, just go vote for her. Like,
Mm.
no, you should have been like, don't vote for
Yeah,
either of these people. They're both.
I mean, you know, it showed true colors, like especially last night, where you know he's talking to like an actual, like I said, I'm not sure of his exact title, but I know he has some kind of history in actual union work, and he's saying that, you know, he cares more about workers, or he's more for the workers, or he knows more about you know, that kind of stuff than this guy, and it's like no, like I'm actually in that line of work. It's like talking to someone from Boston, you know, because you went to the like Logan Airport, like you never left the airport, and you're telling someone from Boston what Boston is like. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, like
And
no, I live here.
from the chat, Bernie likes his mansions more than principal. I'm like, yeah, that kind of seems to be the case because I'm like, I'm sorry, dude, but if you were so principled and you really believed in what you're spouting, you would not have more than one fucking house, and you would be
Yeah,
doing way much more for people than just trying to run for president. Like you
you know
have
what?
the means to help a lot of people, but you're not.
It's a simple rule. Just don't trust anyone without a beard. And I mean,
That's good
Andrew Yang kind of gets a pass because he can't grow one.
because he's
Yeah,
Asian.
yeah.
That's a, I don't.
Uh,
I'm not being racist. That's like a thing. Asians sometimes have a hard time growing
Right.
beard. Like
Well,
I've not
I
tried.
mean, my dad was Cherokee, and
Mhm.
he actually couldn't grow a beard because he was too Cherokee. I guess the Italian side of my gene just kicked the shit out of that right quick.
I'm gonna give Tulsi a pass there too because I don't think she'd be as attractive with a beard.
Oh
So
yeah. 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 We can definitely say.
I don't know. A beard might actually help Elizabeth Warren out a little bit.
I may or may not have just suggested that we can never trust a woman leader. I mean, it's not like all the examples happen from coups or anyways, right?
yeah. I like here's the bad thing though. Like when it comes to like me personally, I have obviously like I have no reason to dislike a specific politician because they happen to be a woman. What I do feel like it's actually a shame that Hillary did as well as she did in the last election because it kind of like turned a lot of people off from the concept of wanting a female leader because like she was like
Yeah.
the spokesman for a female politician becoming president, and she is such a horrible person. Like it made like because it's funny because like I made the joke in the during the last election. I was like, Obama was such a shitty president that now the Democrats are trying to convince us that we should vote for an old white guy again. It was like everybody's like Bernie Sanders. I'm like, really? That's interesting because like pretty sure like 8 years ago you guys were saying that you can't trust old white men. Like that's why we need to vote for Obama. And it's I mean like that's obvious.
I don't think back then it was about that. I think back then it was just like, oh, we're ready.
Oh, you know, like it's just a joke I'm making.
I think that all came in the era of Trump.
That's just me being goofy and making a joke. It's just funny to me. Like I'm not like I don't actually think that way. I'm just being goofy because I'm like, I mean,
okay, fair enough.
But here's the thing. I think in a heartbeat, like I know because every time like people are like, oh, Republicans don't like Obama because he's black, and then what the fuck is that one guy's name that ran in the Republican Party? I want to say Ben something. Carson. Every Republican I know would have voted for him in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Like they would, you know, like
he
I remember because like my parents.
Like out of
he wasn't bad. Like I remember, like I got my dad like a Ben Carson like a book that Ben Carson wrote for his birthday one year because like he really liked Ben Carson, and he despises Obama. Like my dad's kind of like a little like stereotypical like baby boomer Republican sometimes, but like like he didn't hate Obama because he was black. He didn't care less. It was like he would vote for Ben Carson in a heartbeat. It's like the chat's getting weird. Asians are good.
I forget.
That's from the chat. Asians are good in bed. So I'm gonna take your word for that. I have no experience there.
I'll have to explore that situation.
Explore that option.
I'm gonna have to.
You do the research, Michael. I'm married, so I can't. Research.
Good. I got a new project for myself.
Okay, no. Here's where it came. Okay, it says because in the chat, because I said something about like Asians can't. Not that they can't. They have trouble growing beards. Some of them have trouble growing beards. That's why, like in The Walking Dead, that Glenn didn't have a beard, like even after years and years. It's like they're like, don't grow a beard, even though he could. I guess they thought it would be like confusing for people if an Asian had a beard. Anyway, sorry.
I mean, well, it's like
Asians also have the straightest hair. Going down on one leaves splinters in your tongue. Somebody said in the chat, and then that's where Asians are good in bed though came from. So. Yeah, I don't know if like everybody in the chat's as drunk as I am right now too, or what's going on. But I'm loving the chat tonight. It's hilarious. It's cracking me up every step of the way.
It's making me lose my train of thought. Like I like had like
Sorry, I just like I saw that and I was just like I was just like, oh my god, I gotta pull that like I gotta point that part out because that's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. Where were we? Ah, shit. I think we were talking about.
What were we talking about? It's about politicians and they're dumb. I think it was mostly.
We went to beards. Did we go back to Bernie? Oh yeah, I'm trying. We're trying.
No, we were talking about Ben Carson.
Oh yeah.
Republicans aren't racist because they would vote for Ben Carson.
Oh, now I know what I was saying. I forget who said it, but it was either some Democrat heavy media member or politician. Actually, I think it might have been Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he's like, oh, where are where are the doctors? Where are the scientists? And it's just like, um, they're all on the Republican side.
That's true.
Dr. Rand Paul, Dr. Ben Carson.
Mm-hmm.
I said Dr. Rand Paul, Dr. Ben Carson.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah.
Rand
Paul, like he's an eye surgeon or something, right?
Yeah, an optometrist or something.
Because I know, he did this thing where he had fixed somebody's eyes, and so I know I was like, okay, he does that, and there's a lot of them. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's like I like politicians that actually have a past besides politics.
Me too. It shows that that's one of the reasons why I feel like AOC is going to be one of the worst politicians in history, is because she doesn't really seem to know any other kind of life, and she got voted into office way too young to really be able to kind of bring anything else to the table. And if you had an actual life before you went into politics, you have real people experience. You know what it's like to go out into the world, have a job, work in a place, do a lot of stuff, how the actual real world works. It's not like if your whole life is just being a politician, your brain is kind of warped in a way. You don't really understand how, just everything works.
Yeah, and it's that's basically Elizabeth Warren in a nutshell. And it's she actually, in the last debates, not this one, but the one that was a month ago, she was talking about her, origin story and how she got that first break of being a politician, and then she kind of followed the ladder ever since. So I'm like, so basically you're just admitting that you're a fucking opportunist.
Yep. No,
straight up, I'm a complete opportunist, and it's then she's just fully admitting that she had nothing going for her until she got into politics.
Yep.
And if that's your thing, okay, whatever. But it's I respect the guys that come in that as crazy as John McAfee is, but at least he can be I cleaned every single computer virus in the 80s.
Yeah.
What have you done?
Right. I'm that's kind of the interesting thing, because McAfee's psychotic, but he's also this extremely successful business person.
Dude, he's so insane.
The guy's out of his mind.
He is legit. It's
hilarious.
A movie.
I love it.
He's legit a movie bad guy in real life.
Right?
He is
oh my god.
He is a real life James White.
Yes.
Okay. No, Frank White. I'm sorry, Frank White from King of New York.
Yes. I got you.
Played by Christopher Walken. Great movie if you haven't seen it. 10 for 10 would recommend. Now they got to pay me for that endorsement. But yeah, it's Andrew Yang's in the same boat. Even though it's a non-profit, he still started something, created something successful before getting into politics. And it's I think that's where the appeal of Donald Trump came in, because you got this lady that was a career politician that just happened to be married to the president, and that's where she basically got her big political break. And she was into politics and everything beforehand, obviously, but that was basically her life. And then it's Donald Trump comes in I've had over 1 million companies. I have hotels in Las Vegas. I have companies in India. I've been at I have won WrestleMania matches.
yeah.
It was everyone's yeah, fuck you, Hillary. What the fuck have you done?
So
besides feel as Bill's wife.
Right. That's pretty much all she really has to her name. I got it from the chat real quick though. says Mike lives close to Chinatown. He should go there and pick up a wife. Don't feed her after midnight, though.
I actually do live close to
It's a
Chinatown.
gremlin.
Should I be a little worried that you know I live so close to Chinatown?
I'm assuming that's somebody that knows you personally. It's just funny though. I like the Gremlins reference.
Yeah, I hope so. Or it's just someone that assumes because there's a Chinatown in every city.
That could be it.
Yeah.
That was an assumption. That was pretty astute.
But yes, I do live very close to Chinatown.
So I guess you can go find yourself an Asian wife there. Just
Yeah,
you don't have to get married. Just report back with your findings and figure it out.
Yeah, that's where I got this.
I didn't see that. What is that? Oh, I see what you did.
The finest glass the Chinese can make,
Nice.
which isn't very good, but it's cheap.
Cheap is nice. It's a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, like cheap stuff has its purpose. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you're giving like a 2-year-old a toy, like, do you want it to be expensive? Like, no, like let that thing break in 5 seconds anyways, because he's gonna be bored.
Seriously, when you got a little,
it's like
my son has broken so many toys, and I'm just like,
because it's just about like what's gonna happen first. Are they gonna get bored
Exactly.
or are they gonna break it first? It almost becomes a fun little race.
Yeah. No, and just like there's a lot of things where it's just like off-brand stuff.
Sure,
for
my hair
certain
looks ridiculous.
things, it's just as good as the rest. Nah, you don't want me to remove my hat and show you what ridiculous hair looks like.
It's just kind of hanging
like,
on my hat. It's just kind of hanging on my hat right now. I'm just like, because I kind of I kind of like moved my hat real quick, popped out, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna fucking fix it. They can just, look at me with my ridiculous fucking front ponytail hair.
Yeah.
I'm setting the trend.
We're getting some more. I don't know if my live stream's like lagging behind or what. Is it still going on right now?
Well, this is what happens when a stoned libertarian talks to a drunk libertarian. There's been that whole experience.
I mean, like earlier, we were like basically trying to rate which Democrat was the hottest. So I mean, that's already all over the place. It's been a good live stream.
Yeah, I mean,
it's been weird. I like just going off and just having a good fun like that.
All I gotta say is like, fuck the other two parties and ideologies. Like,
Oh yeah.
We drink and get high and talk politics. Like that's the way it should be. That's the way the forefathers did it.
Yeah.
Why aren't we still doing it? We should have a fucking bong in the White House with a fucking keg, because that's what it takes to handle the presidency.
Yeah, I mean, like everybody probably would come out of the office looking less like stressed out and more gray hairs and everything.
Right.
Oh, that reminds me, because like when Bernie was like actually in the running in the last election, there was cause I feel like Jason had shared it and that's where I saw it. But like there's this image of like before and after pictures of presidents of how like they kind of go in looking young, and by the time they come out, they're like gray haired and they like have bags under their eyes. So then they did a picture of Bernie, and then the next one's like the Crypt Keeper from Tales from the Crypt. He would look pretty fucked up after that. I don't know how that dude would come out.
He just turned into a babe because the presidency just processed him to the point of being reincarnated already.
No, see, I'm imagining like the scene from The Last Crusade, Indiana Jones, of when the guy would drink from the wrong cup, and just like turns old and like turns into dust.
Yeah.
How much of a dumpster fire was the debate? You know what, Chris? We actually didn't watch the whole thing. We were watching bits and pieces and commenting, kind of going off track here and there, but it seemed from everything I've seen, it seemed pretty bad. It seemed pretty bad. Like, yeah, I had it on with the captions and stuff. And it just kind of looked a lot more of just like posturing constantly of like, well, you're not good at this. And it's a lot more like it just, that's the thing with like that. I just get so annoyed with the debates. There's so much of, it's like, why should we vote for you? And then the person's like, well, this guy did
I'm
this
not Trump.
bad, and I don't like you shouldn't like him. And it's like that didn't actually explain why we should vote for you. There's like 50 people on stage. Why? Like it's like you can't say everybody's worse than you. Like it's always about why everybody else sucks, and it's like I suck like, the least.
Yeah, it's like, well, why should we vote for you? Well, you see, my hometown of Wisconsin, I knew this family, and this poor kid got cancer, and then he died, and that's why we need to do something.
It's like, yeah, it's pointless stories. It's just like it's posturing, and there's never anything. I didn't actually watch the first debate. Responding to the chat. I didn't watch the first debate.
Andrew Yang had the best response in that regard because he was like, I'm, son of an immigrant too. He's like, my father came over here, after getting his graduate degree to do whatever, and he's like, those are the kind of immigration stories that we should be talking about. We shouldn't just be talking about, the worst and the saddest, and the real emotional stories. Like, you should also be talking about the inspiring stories of immigration. And everyone was just like,
it's insane. Those debates are always insane. I'm actually kind of looking forward to the Republican ones because I feel like it's going to be way more of a dumpster fire than the Democrat ones.
Is it going to be anyone besides Donald Trump and Bill Weld? I mean, someone's got to.
That's what I don't know. And even if it's just Donald Trump and Bill Weld, it's going to be a huge dumpster fire. Because I want to see Donald Trump try to explain how he's still somehow an actual good president and defend. Because anybody on that stage is going to go after Trump hard on all the stupid shit he does, and he's still going to be up there no, I'm the best. I'm the best at being the president. It's just, I don't know. I think it's going to be amazing to watch. It's going to be a debate for the ages. I'm going to love every second of it. I'm going to cringe so hard, I'm sure, so many times. To answer the question from the chat, I actually didn't watch the first debate. I typically when it comes to debates, I avoid, and then I read transcripts the next day. It's actually how I do a lot of politician speeches too, because I just do not like how politicians speak, and it's grating to me, so I can't actually hear it usually. This is probably the first time I've actually watched a good chunk of a debate in 10 years. And I just watched the one tonight. Yeah, I never watch a debate sober. I don't. That's just never going to happen ever. I'm pretty sure if I tried to watch a debate sober, I would have ended up shooting myself in the face by now. And then it's just I don't know. I don't know what's compared to. I know from last night, but from the people I follow, Larry Sharp, and then Morgan is a Wizard, Petit Nikoko, they're all kind of live tweeting the debate, and it seems like it kind of there were actually more legitimate points made tonight than last night. There was some more of an actual direction in some of the things people were saying. I don't know. Larry Sharp had tweeted saying pretty much that in his mind, Yang and Tulsi both won the debate. They came out the best. And then from the chat, Dems have no direction, thus too many cooks in the kitchen. That's very much true. But I mean, I feel the same personally. I feel the same can be said for the Republicans, where it's just everybody, they have this kind of, everybody has their own idea of the best way to push forward. And that's what actually was really interesting about watching a debate that is a group of people who all are part of the same political party and cannot agree on anything. It's amazing. That's the best part about these debates is when you have a big ass group of people who are all we're all Democrats or we're all Republicans, and everybody disagrees with everybody. Everybody is saying everybody else is worse than them. Nobody can get along. It's fucking hysterical to me. It just shows how much the party line really doesn't fucking matter that much. Even in your own party, nobody agrees with each other. Everybody's got their own ideas. It's insane.
Well, it's they all kind of agree with each other, but they're still at each other's throats. It's
oh yeah. They're always they're blowing stuff out of proportion, exaggerating too.
Yeah, they're trying to like nitpick each other's
Mhm.
healthcare plans, and it's like,
Yeah.
they're most of them are pretty similar. Like, some of them are a little bit different, but it's like, they're like basically nitpicking, like, oh, you don't have a plan, like I have a plan. You don't have a plan, I have a plan. I have a
Yep.
plan. I have a plan. Like,
I have the best plans.
like what's your plan? Like,
Yeah.
it's
It's typical political like posturing of it's constant slogans, mottos, promises,
hmm
no
yeah,
substance, no substance ever.
exactly.
And just that's where I'm like, because you know, every time when I'm hearing people talk about who they're going to vote for or why, it's always touching on those slogans and promises. It's never touching on like the actual like the meat of it of like what do you actually think this
Yeah,
person is going to
like what's
do
it
to
gonna
make things
mean, and
better?
how's it gonna actually affect your life?
Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah.
Because it's like it becomes like media influence politics of what is portrayed to, um because like like most people kind of get into this whole like Democrat versus Republican thing, but it's like realistically, when you were looking last year at Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton, it really depends on what issue it was. And like even though they're
Mhm.
both terrible, like Donald Trump had the better answer for it, 9 out of 10 times. It's like Hillary wanted to put a no-fly zone,
Yep.
over Syria. So it's like, you can cry me the river all you want. Like, I still think it's terrible as well that, he blocked the flights from those 5 countries.
Yeah.
But Hillary would have said no one, even people that aren't even in our jurisdiction, aren't even in our union, can't fly there, or they're going to get bombed to high hell.
Right.
It's like that's preferable
That's
than
insane.
the 3 months of not letting people from Arab countries come in. Like, come on, like give me a fucking break.
It's insane. It's insane. Like,
Mm.
I don't know. It's very amusing too, though. Like, one of the things I always pointed out about Obama was one of his big campaign promises during his first election was like, gay marriage. Like, he went on and on about that. Didn't even attempt to touch that in his first 4 years. Guess what was one of his big campaign promises when he went up for reelection? Gay marriage. And it's like, it was like, you guys not like see like he's just saying all the same stuff. Like he's saying like, oh, all that stuff I didn't do, I'm really gonna do it this time. I'm like, yeah, okay. But like that's politicians for you. It's just like, hey, I'm gonna say whatever I can say to make you want to vote for me. And once I'm in office, and I'm just gonna fuck around for a while. It's like, or I'm gonna do whatever the hell I feel like. Like I don't know, when I hear people talk, like politicians talk about their campaign promises, it means nothing to me. It means nothing. Like,
Yeah.
I just do not care that much. I want to look at the whole platform. Like, I don't ever single in on one specific campaign promise. Like I will look at the platform as a whole and judge it from that because I'm assuming out of the whole
Yeah.
platform, there's something in there that they're actually going to attempt to try to do. Um, and then if
Yeah.
somebody's going up for like a first term election, I do not take their promises that seriously because they're going to do one or two things and then save the rest. And then when it comes to re-election, be like, oh well, I wasn't able to do it yet then, but I'm gonna do it now. Like every time you look back on presidents that got voted in, like went up for re-election, it was all like so many of the exact same promises, and people still totally buy into it. They're like, oh no, he really
Yeah.
means it this time.
I'm not sure how long you're planning on doing the stream for. It has been running a while. Um, but
Oh
before
yeah,
we
we've been
do
almost
close
2 hours
out,
now. Like I meant.
I do want to address one part that we really
Well, yeah, I
haven't
was gonna say
talked about at
we can
all.
wrap it up. So
Yeah, but
yeah, we can wrap it
let's
up in a minute. So I want you
let's
to
have
like go ahead and kind of give your final words and stuff, right? Like whatever points you need to make and everything now.
Okay, well, before we get to the final words, I just wanted to get to the one thing about the
Okay.
Democratic debate that we really didn't talk about at all, and that's the whole climate change thing. And between the two
Yeah,
nights,
we didn't discuss that.
between the 2 nights, I saw a good like 13 to 15 out of the 20 basically give the whole doomsday. Scientists say we have 10 years to make a decision and, put one of us in charge before the world ends. Like, give me, oh my, like,
Yeah, they're being pretty dramatic.
it's so hard for, like, like actual, yeah, obviously I believe in climate change, like, you know, whatever, but like I may not agree with like completely cutting carbon emissions, by law because of it, and then it's like all of a sudden like I don't believe in climate change, and it's like no, like I think the 10 years thing is definitely a scare tactic.
Oh
Climate
yeah.
change is a very real thing. I don't think it's something
Mhm.
it's not something that's gonna like
I don't
collapse
think it's
upon
yes,
us.
I don't think it's like a conspiracy kind of thing.
And and
I
and
think there's
and
misinformation there, but yeah.
and if it is, we're boned either way. The dick's coming, people. You can't stop it. So it's kind of like a whatever. Like if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. If not, like
Mhm.
whatever. I just look at it as a scare tactic. But I
Yeah.
was very surprised at how many people like they had no substance to talk about the actual issue and what they actually wanted to do because they
Oh
didn't
yeah,
want
of
to
course
actually
not.
say
Yeah.
they didn't want to say any of their stupid ideas on the air.
Well, yeah, no,
But
it's early. They don't want to put their
yeah,
foot in their mouth yet.
but most of them made that scare tactic. Of, scientists give us 10 years to think of something, and it's like no, stop, like you wouldn't be really trying to, make a global panic. Like if shit was really going down, you would not try and panic people.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
that's disaster relief 101. You can learn that by watching any fucking zombie movie. Never mind. Like you never tell the townspeople that
Yeah.
there's a fucking
No,
zombie
yeah,
apocalypse
you
going.
don't do things to intentionally panic people, and then that's kind of they're up there like the world's gonna end if you don't vote for me, kind of shit. Come on,
Right.
like get real. That's insane.
And that was kind of my criticism when John McAfee ran. Because like one, he's a complete madman, but like when he was doing interviews of why he should be picked for president, it's like, I'm the only one that can stop the machines. I know them. I understand them. I wrote programs against them before. I've stopped them in the
Uh,
80s, and I will do it again. Is he
yeah,
really
you
going all
sound like
Terminator on him?
cigarettes. Settle down, buddy. It's not that. Oh
Well,
man,
there was one. There was one.
actually things
There was
from
one debate I
politicians.
saw because like when you're in the libertarian groupings, like you see all like the very underground stuff that doesn't get shown on like the nightly news, and like there was an interview with him, like it was one of the early libertarian interviews. It was just like a conference call, like almost kind of like we're doing, like there was no video for John
Mhm.
McAfee, and like like you
Yeah.
just hear him in the background like fucking sniffing lines, like and like every time they call him, he's like, yeah, or like just like starts muttering, yeah, I'll get back to that. Like,
That's amazing. That dude's like seriously out of his mind. I think that's one of the reasons why I like him so much. It's
right,
like
right. Like
part of me would be like, I'd love to just see
I
chaos
love
that come out of
McAfee,
it.
and he has a lot of questionable
Yeah,
things about him that
oh,
can
for
make
sure.
you not like him. But it's like as a character, it's like like I said before, he's almost like a
Yeah,
movie bad guy.
yeah.
It's like
It's like a
cinematic to
comic book
watch
villain
him.
come to life.
Yeah, if you check him out
Yeah.
on
Oh yeah, for sure.
Twitter,
It's
like you see his live feeds, and he's just sitting there like talking like a Bond villain, like, I'm on to you, Bond. You can come and get me if you want. I'm in international waters right now. I don't think it's gonna be easy
I would
for
like
you.
actually McAfee is somebody I would love to interview on these live streams. It would just like I cannot imagine how bizarre that whole thing would be. Like
He might
just
do it. He
letting
might
like
he might do it from
go
jail. Like he'll pop up on Google's Hangouts like, ha ha ha, stupid government didn't even take this phone.
Didn't he say something like if Bitcoin like didn't hit a certain percentage, he was going to eat his own dick or some shit like that? Like I don't know. He said something completely insane about Bitcoin. Like
Right.
everybody's just like, yeah, settle down. Like, you know, like, calm down a little bit, John. Like that's insane. Yeah, we should definitely wrap up. I do want to do some more of these as these debates and stuff go on, where we can hopefully we'll be able to get some more people in. And you know, it was fun just kind of going off the walls tonight too, just having this kind of discussion. I really can't wait for the Republican debates. But yeah, like if you have kind of like
fun, I don't think it's gonna be anything special unless it's gonna be someone more than Bill Weld.
I'm hoping.
It's got to be.
am hoping.
I mean, that's the only name
like
out there right now.
Dumpster fire. Yeah. So
like I think most people I think most people are just kind of realizing that Trump's gonna, unless like he gets impeached or like something crazy happens, where his credibility is like drops like to a real new low. Like, and I'm talking about a real low, not like a leftist fantasy low.
Like a Hillary's gonna like win in a landslide kind of thing,
or just like all like the because like as according to like the left and like the passionate Democrats, like everything he does is in a complete abomination. But the 90%, the most of America, it's like he may not be great, but it's like he's not doing anything like crazy abominable. But I mean a year's a long way, or like 15 months or however long it is till the election. We have some time until that can unfold. But I think for right now, because, like I said earlier with, the Democrats like Bernie Sanders, who, I don't think are really in it for the presidency. I think they're more in it to promote their brand and, get speaker jobs afterwards. And, I think Republicans are more actual politicians, and it's like, oh, well, we're pretty confident that Trump's getting this, so we're just gonna sit this one out because it's not really worth it. And Bill Weld just the posture motherfucker he is.
Well, fuck that guy. I hate him.
Fuck Bill Weld.
Yeah, just fuck Bill Weld. Fuck him in his stupid face. I don't like him at all. There's just nothing about him. Here's something. I don't want it to just be Weld. Yeah, I want to watch somebody good up on stage up against Weld, where they can just kind of show everybody how much of a fucking dumbass that guy is, like how little actual principle he has.
Yeah, like, I'm convinced Bill Weld is only running just to be able to say that he went on both parties and said to vote for the Democrat Party.
Probably. Neocon posing as a libertarian from the chat. Yeah, I can't really argue that too much. I don't know.
I mean, libertarian is just a subjective line. Like, we're not all ANCAPs, I'm not an ANCAP. I don't think Josh is an ANCAP either. But
no, I'm not an ANCAP.
I mean, there's different. There's like a wide range of libertarians, but it's like certain people are outside of our bubble, and he's just a little bit outside of our bubble. Bye.
Yeah. It's like, honestly, the Libertarian Party pushing for Weld was the thing that it was just like, you guys have like you just don't want to be taken seriously, do you? Like you don't want people to take you seriously. Like there are some really great libertarians out there right now, like actually making good points, doing good things, trying to
Austin Peterson should have won that
for sure.
That election.
Yeah.
Like Gary Johnson had a chance.
Yeah. Austin gets a lot of shit because he's more of an anarchist, so a lot of libertarians don't like him. But I actually have talked to Austin a few times. He's a genuinely nice guy. Like, I mean, he was really open, like when he was running.
Right.
Like, and he was. I had a couple questions, and he's he messages me back, and he's like, "Well, here's where I stand on this." He's like, "Do you want me to call you? But I could probably explain it better, like on the phone."
Yeah.
That's how he was just so approachable, and so like I want you to understand where I'm coming from, and if I can't explain it well enough in text, I would love to actually have a conversation with you. Like, he was really cool. He's always been
he's a great communicator.
Mhm.
Like he's actually a really nice guy. Like
I think he still follows us on
he,
Twitter.
he is a little snobby.
Oh
Like
yeah, no.
it is what it is what it is.
Oh yeah, yeah. Austin,
But
he still follows us on Twitter, actually.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Like
he's a cool guy. Like, I mean, like, he's
Austin's
got some
good people.
problems like everyone else.
Like I see where people don't like some of his pretentiousness and like how like he kind of conducts himself as a snob sometimes,
He could
but
present
you
himself
know
better.
that's just his character. It works for him. Um, you know, like I said, we both talked to AP. Like you know, he's a genuinely nice guy. He'll try and answer any
Oh yeah.
question that you have if you actually
Remember,
have it.
he's been super cool about
Um,
it. Larry Sharp's
and
is
And it's like, all libertarians that hate AP, it's just like, I'm like, give me a really good reason to hate this guy. Don't give me that pyramid of pussy bullshit, or that
yeah.
he's kind of an arrogant prick or whatever. Like, give me
Starts
a
to come out
real
with
fucking
a lot of
reason to
this
not like him.
kind of like
Um,
are looking for a reason kind of thing because he's not perfect. I'm like, nobody's going to be perfect. Like nobody.
right, right,
Um, yeah, I know he
but
doesn't want to run for president, not anytime soon, but I really wish Sharp would take a run at it. Like he would do well just to bring some like kind of good attention to the movement. I feel like
yeah, right. Um,
Larry Sharp and his staff are super awesome people too.
yeah, I really like Larry Sharp. Larry Sharp is cool as shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, we should probably start doing our closing statements now. Um,
yeah. I mean, yeah,
we've been
it's
going for
getting all
about
up in
two
my
hours
face.
now. Mhm.
Here
It's
she
been a
is.
good stream. It's been a good stream though. It's been pretty lively.
Yeah, no, it was a
So
hell of a lot of fun. I'm glad like we were able to get so much conversation out of it, with just the two of
yeah,
us too.
seems like we got some good
So
viewership too, actually. So that's good.
yeah, no, and we had yeah. I want to say real quick
And we
too,
went
like
on a
thank you to
long
everybody that was
hiatus.
watching and participated in the chat. Yeah,
Yeah,
we've been off
we've
for a
been on.
while.
Yeah, we've been on a long hiatus on this channel. I'm actually doing my own YouTube, so I've been kind of doing that, and more so, because really nothing's been going on with this channel.
Yeah.
But yeah, like hopefully
Hey,
we, can start doing this
plug
more
your
often.
YouTube real quick though, before we
Yeah,
sign off and everything.
my YouTube is the Defiant Lion. I'm just kind of playing around with things right now. You can find me on Facebook at Michelangelo Leoncello. I guarantee you, I am the only person in the world with that name. Again, that is Michelangelo Leoncello. Yes, like the Ninja Turtle, Leon, LeonCello. Look it up.
We had like you had me on your channel. What it was like what last week I think.
Oh, I actually correction, not like the Ninja Turtle because it's not the one word, but it's Michael and Angelo. Sorry, I just wanted
Yeah.
to clarify that.
No, it's you had me on your channel like was it last week or earlier this week? I forget now.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, those good
yeah,
time. I had a fun discussion with you guys.
yeah. It's much
Definitely.
the same thing that we do over here. We just kind of like talk politics and whatever else. And I think we were talking about the Epstein thing on my channel last time. So if you want to check that out, go look at
Yeah,
that stuff and. You'll be able to find the sarcasm and liberty. My stuff's all over the place there.
yeah,
Josh runs a Twitter. I don't run the Facebook, but I'm one
yeah.
of the
You're
editors
one
on
of our
Facebook.
admins and an
Yeah,
editor. Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, he, you help create a lot of our memes and stuff, and a lot when we haven't done streams in a while, but like I'm trying to get those going again. So you're usually one of the participants when we do.
oh
So
yeah.
I do want to say, like if you have like a final thought before we go, just kind of about the debates, if you want to say that real quick, and then I'll kind of sign off. We do a final
Well,
thought too.
I just want. I'm gonna make a final thought. On my who I thought won the debate, and my very clear and precise answer is anyone who didn't watch it.
Dude, that's put that into the admin chat when you get off. We need to meme that. That's a good one. So no, that's good. I'm definitely going to be trying to do some more streams with this the debates and stuff coming up. Soon, I think there's going to be at least one more stream, possibly on Saturday. There's a couple people I've been talking to that want to come on and do a stream. So, like, if you follow us on sarcasm.liberty, is it sarcasm.liberty, right? Sarcasm.liberty on Twitter.
Well, if you
sarcasm.liberty.
Search sarcasm and liberty with
Yeah,
an ampersand.
You should be able to find it.
Yeah, we have an
Yeah.
ampersand on our thing.
So you can find Yeah. For the handle though, like the actual, like the Twitter handle, it's like at sarcasm.liberty, I think. But yeah, if you sarcasm ampersand liberty, that's how you can find us on Twitter and Facebook. And if you're already watching this, you know how to find us here. So yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. Had a really good chat. I want to thank everybody that participated in the chat. It was that was awesome to get so much participation. And then I guess my final word would be to Tulsi Gabbard, and it would be a request for some more exercise videos. So let's get that going, Tulsi. Come on.
Yeah, with skip your clothes.
Yes, I'm totally fine with that. I'm not going to complain. Don't worry. All right. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Thanks for coming on, Michael. Yep. Well, have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for having me, man. All right, later, guys.
Yeah. Bye.